Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Watering Hole, all about Sprout Studio. My name is Brian Caprici, and I'm going to be your tour guide today on the webinar on The Watering Hole. I'm really excited to dive into this and excited to show you some exciting things. We have 4 goals for you on this weekly webinar. Number 1, we hope to show you the kind of experience that you can give your clients using Sprout Studio. Number 2, we hope to show you how easy it is to get organized and how quick you can get organized using Sprout Studio. Number 3, we hope that you can learn the ABCs of Sprout Studio. And then number 4, we hope that you can feel in the know with some of the Sprout Studio lingo. That is the goal today. That is what we hope you can leave this Watering Hole webinar with after the next 60 minutes. I have a few housekeeping rules to go over with you, but while I'm doing that, say hello. Oh, you guys already are saying hello. Harvey's like cheerleading you guys. I love this. Jeff's in the house. Alyssa, Gord, Beth. Hey, what is happening? Gord, always love seeing you in here. Jeff, so good to see you in here. Alyssa, Beth, thank you for hanging out. Anyone else who hasn't said hello, say hello. The whole point of us doing these live every week is so we can actually say hello. We can engage. We can chat with you. We'd love to say hello and learn where you're watching from. And also, where in your Sprout Studio journey are you today? If you click the polls button up on over here, click the polls button and let us know where you are. Harveer has a poll prep for you. Let us know where you are in your Sprout journey so we can better learn how we can continue to serve you. And I think you should have one more survey up as well. What do you hope to accomplish with Sprout Studio? What's your goal with Sprout Studio? Why are you even interested in this crazy thing that we have called Sprout Studio? Would love to hear from you. So click the polls button up in the top right of this webinar, and we'd love to hear from you on your answers to those polls. Otherwise, let's get into some of these logistics over here. Okay, so welcome. This is us. Here we are. Really quickly, my name is Brian Caprici. I am the CEO and founder here at Sprout Studio. I've been a wedding and portrait photographer for over 15 years here in Niagara, Ontario, Canada. How do I get my face off of this? Here we go. You guys don't need to see me. There we are. I've been teaching photographers about the business of photography for 12 years. I've written several books. I've keynoted. I've workshopped. I've done the whole thing. I've been where you are, and now I love to help photographers do what they love and make a living doing it. My wife, her name is Allie. We've been together for 17 years. We've been married for 11. And the result of those 11 years of marriage is our daughter Ava, who's 8, our son Ben, who's 5, and our son Andrew, who is 3. Now, why do we exist? We here at Sprout Studio, we exist to help you make a living doing what you love. It is what drives and fuels every single decision that we make. It's what drives and fuels Sprout Studio, the software. It's what drives and fuels our education, our podcast, and everything that we do to support this industry and this amazing community that we have in front of us to help you guys make a living doing what you love. Here's our goal and our plan today for this Watering Hole webinar. We have 45 minutes dedicated to an actual demo. I'm going to give you a 50,000-foot view, a high-level overview of what is Sprout Studio, how you can use it. I'm going to walk you through the entire life cycle of what your client would go through so that you can see things from their perspective, but also see things from your perspective and how you can help keep folks organized. At the end, we'll have a 15-minute Q&A. Of course, please feel free to ask questions throughout. There is a questions tab in the top. I'm going to go through that in just a moment. Justin, who's here in support, will try and answer them as we go. Otherwise, he will flag some of them for me to answer at the end of the webinar. There will be a replay available. I need to come on to emphasize that. There will be a replay available. This is going to be a super fast-paced webinar. I want to fly through 50,000 foot high. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very fast-paced. Sprout Studio is a big software. It's a big tool. And the goal of this webinar is to give you that 50,000 foot view. In doing so, I'm going to move pretty quickly. So there will be a replay available if you want to watch the replay. We also have a lot of other tools that are going to be there and available for you to sort of pick up where this webinar leaves off. So don't feel stressed. Don't feel overwhelmed. We're here, and we're here to help and guide you through your Sprout Studio journey. Let me introduce you to some of the Sprout team. We have Drew here, who is in sales and marketing. on Sprout Studio. Drew, say hello. There you are. He's quick. He's over in St. Catharines. We have Harveer here with us in business development at Sprout Studio. Harveer, say hello over there in the chat. You guys have already seen him cheerleading. And we have Justin, customer support over at Sprout. Justin's probably the guy that you're all used to talking to and hearing from if you are already using Sprout Studio, because Justin leads up that team at Sprout. So he's going to try and answer your questions as we go. But otherwise, like I said, he will flag them for me. Really quickly, Justin never disappoints with the Hulk gifs and the memes. I love it. Really quickly, with the Livestorm platform here that we're using for the webinars, there's 4 sections at the top. There's chat. Feel free to chat in there and discuss with your fellow Sprouters here in the webinar. The second tab you'll see there is questions. If you do have questions, please pop them into the questions tab, and that way Justin gets them, and then he can flag them for me at the end. There is a polls menu up there that Harveer has already put a few polls into. Please feel free to hop on over there and answer those polls for us. And if you want to creep on who else is in the webinar here with you, feel free to click the people menu at the top. And so with that, let's get into Sprout Studio. Are you guys ready? Give me an emoji, give me a happy face, a thumbs up. Give me something so I know that you're ready. Cool. All right, we are going to get into this. So let's hop into Sprout Studio. So here we are. Who's giving me the surprised face? I love it. All right, we're going to start. So Sprout Studio, everything in Sprout, the entire customer experience that you give your clients starts with a contact form. So if we go over here into settings and then into communication and into contact forms, I have here a contact form. Now, a contact form is really just a drag and drop editor where you can add fields, you can move things, you can change the text, you can specify what kind of field you want to add, you want to move, you want to change and customize, and then you publish it and you put that onto your website. Now, the cool thing about Sprout Studio contact forms and questionnaires for that matter is that you can have what we call conditional questions. Meaning, if you wanted to ask a question like, hey, what is your wedding date? That particular question may only make sense if the client is getting in touch about a wedding. So you can have this question say, hey, only show this if this answer is answered this specific way. And so I've actually set that up for this question, and for this question here. So the contact form gets a lot simpler until they say, hey, I'm getting in touch about wedding photography. So it just lets you build a more guided and a more tailored experience for your clients. I'm going to turn that off. Hang on a second. Oh, it's yelling at me. There we go. Technology, always having fun. There we go. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold tight with me here, folks. There we go. All right. We're back at it. All right. So this is the contact form. Now, what you're going to do is you can embed this right onto your website. So you just copy and paste this little code here. Sprout Studio contact forms works with WordPress. It works with Squarespace. It works with Wix. You can put it wherever you want to put it, and it's going to work right onto your website so that your website visitors never have to leave your website. So you copy and paste that right onto your website. You don't have to know code. You don't have to do anything. You just copy and paste it and you build it all here in Sprout. Let's go ahead and save this and see what this looks like on the front end. So this is now what the contact form would look like if you linked to the version that we have here on Sprout Studio. Now you're going to notice at the end, we don't have those questions because it's all conditional on this being answered wedding. So let's just go ahead and fill this out. And now we will choose wedding. And so now it will show those other fields down here. So we're going to just keep filling this out, choose this. I'll choose some of these options, and then we'll go ahead and fill this out. And then we're going to go, let's connect. Now, once they click that let's connect button, it'll either take them to a thank you page that you've created on your own website if you want to redirect them, or you can display your own custom thank you message like I've done here. So that is the thank you message here. Now, what will happen now is you will get an email and you will get an in-app notification in Sprout saying, hey, you have a new lead. So if I open this up here, you see that it takes me into this leads section. Here's the lead, Faith Millen's wedding. And here's all these options and these pages within this lead that I have. I have emails and questionnaires and booking proposal and orders and quotes and so on and so forth. That's the navigation within this lead. And then, of course, if I step out of the lead, I can view all of my leads, or I can click onto shoots to view all of my shoots. But a lead is basically just an inquiry, someone that's gotten in touch with you, that's looking to get into to book you, to engage with you in your services, and to see how you might be able to serve them. What we're going to do now is go ahead and send an email to this lead. So I'm going to click the quick actions up here in the top right, and I'm going to click the send email button. Now, of course, you could just type out the email the way that you normally would type out an email, but we are going to use some pretty fun tools here in Sprout to help streamline your workflow. And so you're going to see me use templates a lot here in Sprout. So this is the apply template button. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the wedding inquiry template. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice here is that it filled out a whole bunch of content, but the cool thing here is that it filled out the client's name, it filled out what they got in touch about, it filled out their shoot date, so on and so forth. And it's doing that because in my email template, I use what's called variables. And so I use those variables to add in these sort of placeholder bits of content that Sprout then knows to replace with the proper values when I use it on a lead or on a shoot, so on and so forth. So templates let you kind of do 95% of the work ahead of the time. They automate a bunch of those little details and nuances. Now you can come in here, customize it, tweak it, add some small nuance if you want to, and then go ahead and send that to your client. So now I've emailed the client. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to do the typical courting that we would do with a client. Maybe we're going to meet with them, maybe probably this time of the year or this year in general. We're going to have a Zoom meet and greet with them. We're going to have a phone call. We're going to do our back and forth. And at some point, the client's going to say, hey, let's go ahead and get things booked. I'm ready to move on and book you as my photographer. So what you're going to want to do now is send them what we call a booking proposal here in Sprout Studio. So I'm going to click the booking proposal button over here, and this is now where I can build the booking proposal for my client. Now, a booking proposal basically lets you build a customized private web page for your client that they can then view. They walk through a booking proposal, and that is how they then book you as their photographer. They choose a package, they can sign the contract, they give you their contact details, they can make a payment, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and actually use a booking proposal template because I have one built in here already. Again, another way to help you save time is by building templates around all of these things here. All right, and there we go. So I've got 3 packages here, 3 collections that is going to present the client with as an option to choose one of those 3 packages. I've got 4 a la carte items, which are sort of like extras or options that they can add. I have a payment schedule, I have collection methods, I have a contract, and I've got a welcome message. So let's go ahead and publish this and send this to the client. And then let's view this from the client's perspective so we can see exactly what your client will walk through. All right, so the first thing they see here is that welcome message. This is just greeting them. You can customize all this, and it shows them what steps they have coming up, what they have to look forward to. So we're going to click Get Started. The first thing that they're going to be asked to do, like I mentioned, is choose one of those 3 collections. So we have collection 1, 2, 3 here. I'm just going to go ahead and choose the middle one. And now we have those 4 add-ons that we added as optional extras. If they're not sure what these are, they can click the More Info button, open up this nice modal. You can upload your own product photos, your own description to really help communicate what it is that your client is about to purchase. And they can go ahead and choose that if it's something that they're looking for. Now, down below here, it's going to show the payment schedule. So when they're paying and how much they're paying based on what you've set up in the back end. They can add a coupon if you've enabled it. And then they can keep walking through here to fill out their contact details. So the next step here is the contract. So now they're here and they're going to review the contract. And similar to how email templates worked, contracts are now going to work in the way that we have variables in the contract, such as the wedding date, package details, payment schedule details, client name, so on and so forth. So you make these contract templates once, and then you can apply them over and over and over again. So the client can come through here, can review the contract, make sure they're happy with it, click the I accept, and then go ahead and sign the contract. And now, because I have a payment due upon booking, the client's going to be prompted to pay a deposit. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. I'm going to choose a credit card. Don't even think about screenshotting this credit card number because it's fake, so it won't get you anywhere. on bnhphoto.com. Harvey, I know that you're probably getting your screenshot over there ready. So there we go. Cool. So now the client has paid and they are technically one step closer to booking. Our fear one day we'll get them. The client is now one step closer to booking you as the photographer. The last step here, if I come back here and refresh, so you will have now received an email saying, hey, this client booked. Hey, this client paid. Hey, this client has signed their contract. Now in here, you're going to be prompted to sign the contract as the photographer. So now you can review the contract. You can see what they've signed. You can see that they've signed. And now it's up to you to sign as the photographer. And as soon as I do, it's going to convert this lead into a shoot. So I'm not touching anything now. It's going to do its thing. And Sprout will now convert that lead into a shoot. And I will now have a booked and paying client. And here we go. So now they're in the shoot category. And again, you still have Faith Millen's wedding. I still have all the sub nav under here for Faith Millen's wedding. But now you can see it's in this shoots section, not in the lead section. And if I go into the orders and quotes section here, you can see the order has been created. That's the order based on what they just picked in the booking proposal. It's got the payment that's already been paid. So it's already all there. It's already all set up. I've got automation all set up for reminders and everything for all their orders. And if I go into the contract menu item here, you can see here's the wedding contract and it's signed by me, the photographer, signed by them. And here's what we both agreed to. So it's all here. It's all organized. It's all in one place here. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go and apply a workflow, because a workflow is a great way for you to create a set of tasks or a set of reminders or a set of emails or questionnaires that you want to send out. Basically, you map out the entire customer journey that you want to give your client, and then you can apply it over and over and over again. And we did have a advanced workflows webinar last week that is available for replay now if you go to getsproutstudio.com/webinars. And I'm sure Harvey or Drew can pop the link to that in the chat here. I'm going to go ahead and click apply workflow. We're going to apply the wedding workflow. It's just got 4 simple steps. 2 days after booking, then do this. 3 weeks before a shoot date, then do this. 1 week before a shoot date, do this. And 1 week after a shoot date, do this. Now, as I'm applying this workflow, I don't have to apply every single step. I can turn some of them off. I'm going to leave them all on for now and then walk through here and then apply the workflow. And so now I've got all these things here: tasks, emails, reminders, questionnaires, and everything. And if I click into overview here, it's going to show up here in my timeline, showing everything that's happening for this particular client. And furthermore, if I click on the overview section here, the main dashboard, this is now going to be everything happening in your business for the next 7 days. So it gives you a really good heads up display of tasks that you have coming up, of invoices that are due, of galleries that are expiring, of emails that are going out. You can see everything here in your business. This is sort of your control center for everything happening in your business. I'm going to go into the invitation section here, because invitations allow you to set a set of configurations or of preferences for how you want to book meetings or book shoots or book dates with your clients. And then you can send the client a link to book time in your calendar so that you can avoid that unnecessary back and forth with your client. And you can make as many of these invitations as you like. We recommend having a different invitation for every kind of date or event that you want to book with your client. I've got one here already made called pre-wedding phone call. So this is for any of my clients that need to book a pre-wedding phone call. And in here, I've got my availability all set up. I have all my preferences set up here. There's even more preferences available down here. I can set date and time and all of that. And now what I can do is I can send that to my client however I want to send it to them, and they can now book time on my calendar. So this is what the client will see. And this integrates, by the way, with your Google Calendar. So it'll automatically remove any availability that you don't have. If you've booked time off, if you have other conflicting appointments, it will book all of that off in your calendar for you. And the really cool thing is that if the client comes here and they say, hey, I'm looking for a Friday at 11 a.m., they can click find a date, and Sprout will automatically filter that out for them. So it only shows them dates and times around that time slot that you're available for. So they can go ahead and click it and book that time on your calendar for you. And so that is invitations here in Sprout. I'm going to go back over here, go into shoots, and then go back into Faith Millen's wedding. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go into the galleries section here. Now, again, the really neat thing about Sprout being an all-in-one system, and we believe that better together is better because you have all these tools in one place, both for you as the photographer, but also for your clients. So you can not only do your automation and your emails and your questionnaires and your bookings and your contracts and your invoices and your scheduling. Not only can you do all of that in Sprout Studio, but you can also do your image delivery and your downloads and your print ordering and everything that you want to do with your proofing and your images and your albums. So let's go ahead and click Add New Gallery here. We're going to add a gallery, and you guessed it, I'm going to grab a gallery template that I have here just to speed up some of the workflow, and we're going to go ahead and click Add. So now we have a gallery. I'm going to grab a bunch of images that I have over here, and we're going to upload them into Sprout. And you can see the individual progress here. They're all going to upload. They're all going to go, and there we are. So now we're going to view the gallery, close that on out, and give this a little refresh. Perfect. Okay. And there's all of our galleries. Now, one of the things that is really nice about using the gallery templates is that you can have a whole bunch of the settings, a whole bunch of the organization sort of pre-flighted into that gallery. So it saves you work. You do that work once and you can apply it over and over and over again. So for example, in here, I've already got a bunch of collections pre-created. These are just sort of subfolders within that gallery. So prep, ceremony, portraits. I've got the selling settings already all set up. I have the gallery cover photo already all set up. I'll show that for you in just a moment. But a whole bunch of that is set up once so that you don't have to do it over and over and over again. And you can make as many of those templates as you want. So if you have a different one for weddings that you have for portraits or that you have for headshots, you can have all of that custom for that. What we're going to do here is we're just going to quickly first set a featured image. So I'm just going to right click and click set a featured image. That's going to be what the cover of the gallery is. And I'm going to go ahead and choose the focal point of that because Sprout is mobile responsive. You can't crop the images for your gallery, but instead you say, hey, this is the most important part of the photo. And then Sprout knows that as it moves and shapes and resizes, it won't crop out that part of the image for you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select a bunch of the images here, and I'm going to start moving these into the collections. So I'm going to right click and go copy to collection. I'm going to choose prep, and I'm going to copy it into there. Now I'm going to grab these ones, click these, right click, copy to collection, ceremony, and then I'm going to grab these ones, copy to collection, and then on into portraits. And that way, everything is on in there. And the last thing that I'm going to do, just to make the gallery a little bit prettier, and I'll show you this in just a moment on the front end, is I want to set a cover photo for each of these collections. So I'm just going to right click and go set as collection cover. And then again, I'm just going to set the focal point. There we are. And I'm going to go now into the ceremony one and then right click. Oh, that's already set. Let's choose this one instead. Grab that, and then now we will go into portraits, and let's choose this one here. There we go. And that's basically it now. So I've got the photos in here. I've got them organized into collections. I've got all the pretty stuff set up with the cover photos and the collection covers. So the last thing left is to click live and make this thing live. So let's go ahead there, click live. And now it's going to ask me to write an email. I will say yes. Let's go ahead and make this announcement email for my client. It pulls in that photo. This is a default email that I've already pre-written, pre-set up, so it pulls it in. It opens up and brings in the expiry date, the link to the gallery, and everything. And all I have to do now is click Send Now. And so now let's see what this gallery looks like on the front end for the client. So if I click this View Gallery button here, we can see what this looks like. Now, the one thing that I didn't mention is that this is a custom cover for the gallery. So we have a really, really robust and very flexible and customizable cover builder so that you can customize exactly how your cover looks. You can say where the image goes, how transparent or opaque it is, how big it is, what the colors are, where the button goes, whether they're small or big. Like, you can set up and customize everything. Unlike any other gallery system on the market, you can completely customize it to match your branding. So this particular gallery I've built and customized to match the branding of this particular photographer. So we're going to go ahead in and now click View Gallery. And now this kind of shows you what the gallery looks like. And you can see here why setting those collection covers were so important, because now it's really pretty, it's nice and organized, and all the most important parts of the image are right there in the actual photo. So I'm going to go into the portraits gallery here, and we're going to start viewing these here. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is that every one of your galleries, if you choose to enable it, has a built-in slideshow. So if I click this View Slideshow button, what this is going to do is pull up this beautiful full screen, zoom in, zoom out, Ken Burns effect, crossfade, beautiful slideshow for your clients to view their images, view your images, full screen and distraction free. Now, of course, you can enable watermarks on these as well if you'd like to. So if you don't want to let your clients make it easy to grab the images, you can choose to watermark them. But that slideshow is a really beautiful way for them to view their images with you. Otherwise, they can come in here and click through them, or just go back like that and see what they want to see. So let's go into here, and let's actually, of course, they can favorite the image. They can download the image if you've enabled downloads, or they can order prints of the image. So if they want to go ahead and order, let's say, a 12 by 18 framed print, they can click Learn More to sort of read more, and you can upload your own photos for all this and write your own descriptions. And then they can click Add, and that now adds it to their cart. But for now, we will keep shopping. I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And the last thing I want to show you in the gallery is this order items menu here. So if you wanted to sell something that wasn't necessarily a print or a digital file of just one image, let's say you wanted to sell an engagement book or a wedding album or a thank you card or something that maybe was able to have more than one image in it. So you can turn that on in a gallery. And so in here, I've got this engagement book, but I've told Sprout, I've said, hey, I need the client to choose between 5 and 15 photos for this particular product. So when the client clicks that, they have to say, these are the 5 photos that I'd like to have in this product. Click continue, and now they can go ahead and add that to their cart and purchase that. And so that is sort of a quick high-level overview of galleries here in Sprout Studio. I'm going to close out the gallery preview, and I'm going to go back into the back end here of Sprout and click into the design proof section here. Design proofs basically allow you to show off a design that you've built for your client, whether it be a wedding album or a portrait book or a thank you card or anything like that, and get their feedback right in line so that there's no vagueness with all the back and forth with your clients. So to be clear, you still design it using whatever tool you'd like to use, whether it be Fundy or Smart Albums or Photoshop or InDesign, or you use an outsourced service, and then you upload those finished spreads right in here to Sprout. And then when you upload them, you make it live, you send it to your client. We're going to skip it for now. You send it to your client, and now your client can open up that album design, and then they can flip through and see exactly what these are going to look like for you. And what they can do is click anywhere on the page and then just add comments of what kinds of changes they're looking to make. So that way you know exactly what it is that they're looking for. They flip through, and go in here. Now, the neat thing, because Sprout Studio is an all-in-one system and all these tools are in one place for you, again, to help keep you organized, your client can get really specific. And let's say they say something like, hey, can we swap this for another photo? Now, what we have done traditionally as photographers is we've said, well, what other photo do you want to swap this for? I'm not sure what you're looking for. We have a lot of other photos. The neat thing is that because the client's gallery is in the same system, Sprout Studio, as their design proof, they can click this suggest replacement button here, open it up, and their gallery basically opens up on top of their design proof. So now they can go scroll, find the image that they wanted to suggest to you, and then it copies the file name of that image in for you. So you know exactly what change they're looking to make. I'm going to go ahead and add that, and then I'm going to send these changes on in. This is all confirmed, and now in the back end, again, you will have gotten an email. You will have gotten an in-app notification for this, and if I go in here, you can see that there's 3 comments. There are changes requested. I can open this up, and I can see exactly what changes they're looking for and exactly where they are. And then even specifically to this one, I can see exactly what image it is that they were hoping to add into this gallery or into this design proof. And so that's design proofing here in Sprout. The last thing that I'm going to do before we hop into the client portal is I'm going to upload a file here. So we're going to grab this and let's go and upload a permit. So let's say that you had a permit that you got, or maybe you had another document that you wanted to share with your client, or maybe you just wanted to have a document here that you used for your own team and for your own organizational purposes. You don't have to even necessarily share this with your client, or you can turn it on to share that permit with your client so that they have access to it in their portal. And you can also add links to external sites for your clients to see. So if you wanted to add a video, or maybe you're working with a videographer, or maybe you have a video team yourself, you can add Vimeo or YouTube links here so that they're also linked and available in the client portal, so that again, everything is in one place there for your clients. And if I go into the clients and contacts section here and click the view as client, what that's going to do is it's going to open up the client portal. So this is where the client will log in, and this is exactly what they're going to see. So they have one place to go now to see their entire photographic experience with you. They can see their galleries, they can see their invoices and their orders, they can view their account statement, they can see all dates that they've booked with you coming up, they can view their design proof, their questionnaires. There's that permit we just uploaded. They can update their contact information, view their contract. There's the video that we just linked in here. They can view all of this right here in one place. So everything is together. And as they start going through these things, if they're logged in and they're viewing their gallery, they can quickly flip over to their invoice. They can quickly flip over to their design proof. They can flip over to their contract. They can go and navigate between these things. And they don't have to keep remembering links, remembering different logins, remembering different passwords. They have one place to go to see their entire photographic experience with you. And so that is the client portal. I'm going to move on to a different part of Sprout here, which is something that's a little bit newer. We launched it last year during the pandemic for our users to help them market to their clients that they needed to so badly get in touch with and communicate to and talk to en masse during the pandemic. So we built email marketing right here into Sprout for you so that you can market to and talk to and communicate to all of your clients, or just some of your clients, or you can build your own new email lists for marketing. So we've basically broken that up into two sections. We have email campaigns, which is what you're going to be sending somebody. And then we have email lists, which is who you're going to send it to. So let me open up the email lists here, and I'm going to open up this one that I've already got pre-built. Now, the neat thing is that you can have this be filtering folks that you already have in Sprout. So you can say, hey, I want this email list to be only weddings that booked between this date who booked this particular photographer in my business. Or you can say, I want it to only be portraits who inquired between this date who have a shoot date between these dates. So you can get really specific here for who you're marketing to. And if I close that down, you can also build email lists from scratch. So you can build these sign-up forms, and you can add as many different kinds of sign-up forms as you want, and then you embed those sign-up forms onto your website so that folks can sign up for an email newsletter or an email list here in Sprout so that you can now market to them when it's most appropriate. So if I open up this one here, just to quickly show you the kind of flexibility, this is what the pop-up form on your website would look like, and this is what the thank you page after they fill it out would look like on your website. You can customize this. You can change the content and the settings and the colors and the fonts and the images and what fields are showing up and the button and the confirmation. And you have full, complete control over building these really beautiful pop-ups on your website so that you can show off your work and show off your value and show off an offer to your clients in the best way possible. So that is the sign-up form there. I'm going to click update, and now I'm going to go into the email campaign section here and open up the email campaign. So this is now what the client is going to be receiving, and you can set this up to be just one email. Let's say it was a newsletter or an email blast or a one-time promo, or it could be an email sequence, which is a sort of like a drip campaign. It's a bunch of emails that you can time out one after another, after another, after another. So this one, I've got 4 emails. The first one goes out immediately. And then I've got this one going 3 days later, 4 days later, and then a week later. Now, my favorite part here is our email designer. And this is basically a beautiful drag and drop editor for how you can build the most beautiful emails on the market. And it's really, really easy to use. You just add here. You can add any kind of content that you want. You can add that on in here, and it's as easy as dragging and dropping. And of course, everything is fully customizable. You can change the text, you can change the font, you can change the colors, you can upload all of your own photos. We even have pre-built templates for all of this built in for each kind of section. So let's say that you wanted to add a 2-image section here, and let's kind of drag that on up here. And let's say that you don't love this particular layout. You can click this, and then you can just swap between different layouts. This kind of gives you a different kind of card style layout, or maybe you like something like this, which is more of sort of this nice column-based layout. But with all of this, you can still change your padding and your borders and your spacing and what shape your images are and how big the columns are. Like, it gives you the colors. You have complete control over this. And the really beautiful thing here is that this sends out as a full HTML email. It's not just a bunch of images stacked on top of each other, meaning this is going to work on any browser, on any device, and it's going to be fully searchable, fully indexable, and fully accessible. So that is email marketing here in Sprout Studio. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then save changes. And we're going to close out of here. Before we hop into a few of the other resources that we have, and then also open up the floor for Q&A, I want to hop into reports. We have a lot of built-in analytics and reports here to help you analyze your business, to know what's working, to know what's not working, and to really dive into all the nitty-gritty specifics of your business. So for example, this is the business health report, and it shows you where the money is, when it's coming in, what's past due, what you have coming up, and it also gives you some other high-level overviews of what your booking rate is, of how many inquiries you've had, what kinds of inquiries you've had, so on and so forth. Now, for all of this, for any of these reports, you can filter them based on what kind of shoot it was or where the shoot came from. So if you want to analyze what marketing channels are working for you or what referral partners are working best for you, you can get in here and really understand the value of who's referring you the most amount of work. You can also filter this based on brand, based on users, based on currency, and of course, based on a specific date or date range. You can even get into things like sales analytics to better understand what are your top selling products, what are your top selling services, what are your top selling packages, and how many of those have you sold, and how much money-wise have you made from that particular product, service, or sale. So it kind of gives you, you can really get into all of the details on these. They're very robust, very flexible, and give you all the knowledge and insight and wisdom to make better decisions in your business so that you can grow your business with insight and with informed decisions. Now, one of the things that you might be wondering is, in looking at this, is you're saying, okay, this all sounds amazing. We've got all of my shoots here. I've got all of my contacts here. I've got all of my leads in here. I can do email marketing. I can do my galleries. I can do my design proofing. I have the full suite of reports and analytics, invitations. I can do mini session bookings in here. I can do all these things. Switching over must be a huge pain in the butt. And that might be what a lot of photographers are thinking when we get to this point where you sort of see this high level and you're thinking, wow, this looks amazing. This looks so cool. What's the catch? Is this hard to set up? The answer is no. It's actually very easy to set up. We have an amazing onboarding system that we've built. We have an amazing startup wizard that you can get through in 3 or 4 minutes to get all of your basic information in here to get going. And we also have this tool that we've built called the migration tool. Now, the migration tool basically is a full screen migration assistant that lets you just type in whatever you want last Tuesday, and you answer these simple questions as you tab and type and tab and type and tab and type, and you can move over your clients one by one so that you can move them all into Sprout and have everything living here in one place. And then when you've done the first one, and you can upload old contracts, you can upload old questionnaires, you can upload old files that you've uploaded from your old system, and you can keep everything in here now in Sprout Studio. So let me just kind of run through doing this here just so we can kind of see what all this looks like. I think I clicked the wrong button when I did that, but you get the idea. You can run through all this and you can tab and you can click through it and get through it really, really quickly. Now, if you don't have the time or don't have the availability to go and do this for every single one of your clients from your old system coming into your new system, we do have a concierge service where you can pay us to do it for you. So we'll take over the heavy lifting on that. We can move over everything from your old system into your new system so that transitioning into Sprout is a breeze for you. And with that, let me actually transition then now over to, there we go, some of the tools that I have available for you. So the first tool that I want to talk about is our Sprout Studio comparison page. So if you're new to Sprout or still looking at Sprout and considering Sprout in comparison to some of the other options on the market, come on over to getsproutstudio.com/comparison. I'm sure Javier will put a link in the chat for you. That'll let you kind of put Sprout head to head, toe to toe, side by side with some of the other systems in the market, and you can see exactly whether or not Sprout will be a good fit for you. The next one is the concierge service. So again, this is what I just talked about, where you can have us do the work for you in transitioning everything over from your old CRM and into Sprout Studio. Come on over there, fill out the form, and we'd love to help you do that. We have a terminology roadmap. So if you're kind of getting into Sprout and you're feeling a little bit lost and you're not really sure what some of these terms are, when you say booking proposal, what does that mean? When we say lead, what does that mean? This terminology roadmap gives you kind of a glossary, a translation guide to say, hey, this is what these things are, this is what these things mean. But also you can pick whatever system you're coming from, and we'll tell you what they call these features in comparison to what we call the features. So if you're looking for something that you're used to or you're more familiar with your old system, this tool will help you translate it into Sprout language. GetSproutStudio.com/timeline will give you a quick overview of all the features that we've built over the last 18 months. We're always building new things for you, always working hard, and always making Sprout better for you. If you want to check out some of the things we've built, come on over to GetSproutStudio.com/timeline. SproutStudioSchool.com is probably the natural next step from this webinar. So Sprout Studio School is an in-depth 3 to 4 hour course that basically walks you through step by step every single part of Sprout Studio. It's the same thing as me sitting beside you and walking you through on your computer in your studio or at your home. It's very in depth. We take moments and pauses to say, hey, let's take a second and go set this setup before we continue. So not only will you learn Sprout in Sprout School, but you'll also get it set up along the way. We have a lot of self-help articles, documents, FAQs, videos. If you need help on anything, SproutStudioSupport.com is a great place to go. And lastly, if you are joining us today and you have not yet started your trial, I hope that in the last 43 minutes, you've seen the potential that Sprout Studio can have for you. And I hope that it has convinced you to say, yeah, let's go ahead and kick the tires and see if Sprout Studio is going to be a good fit. We'd love to have you. Free 21-day trial. There's no credit card required. Come on over to GetSproutStudio.com and give us a try. And if you are in your trial, by the way, click the subscribe now button in the top of your page. Let's make things official. Let's take this next big step together. We'd love to have you officially as a part of the family. Click the subscribe now button and join us officially as a Sprouter. If you need help with anything, we have an amazing support team. You already met Justin earlier. You can give us a call. We have a 1-800 number. You can email us. You can click the messenger icon right within Sprout Studio, or we have a wonderful Facebook community as well that we'd love to have you on over there. There's over 6,000 fellow photographers in there that are chatting and encouraging each other and helping each other out with Sprout Studio. So we'd love to have you. And with that, let's move on over to the watering hole Q&A. I'd love to hop in and answer some questions. So let me see what questions we have. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to scroll down here and see what ones haven't been answered. All right, so let's see here. We got Jeff is asking, can we apply workflows automatically? Absolutely, you can. So you can apply workflows automatically for a lead. You can apply them at the point of booking when you do a lead, at the point of adding a shoot, or you can have a lead workflow automatically apply a shoot workflow upon booking. So there's a bunch of different ways to automatically apply them. You can also select all and bulk apply workflows. Jeff, I think you'd actually really love the workflow webinar that we gave last week. Maybe Javier, you can just post the link again into the chat there for that, because we went in depth on exactly how to build out an amazing customer journey in Sprout Studio using workflows. And in that, I go in depth on exactly how to build out workflows, how they work, the mechanics of it, how do you apply them, how do you automate it, so on and so forth. I think you'd really find that helpful, Jeff. Let's see here. So Emma is asking, I have another question in the gallery section. Are you planning to include some sort of automatic album or product design with QuickTime software? We'll do direct for the client. That is not a service that we have planned right now, Emma. We believe sort of at our core that that's a service done by a professional photographer, letting the client click and do it themselves. In my opinion, feels a little bit too automated, too, sort of like kiosky. Not to say that we wouldn't ever build that in the future, but right now it's not a functionality that we have, unfortunately. All right, Jeff is asking, what payment integrations do we have? So we integrate with Stripe, with Square, and with PayPal. We take zero commission on any of that. So you just hook up your credentials, and then we're just the middleman that does it for free for you. Dean, is this compatible with Adobe Portfolio? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you can maybe clarify. I'm not familiar with Adobe Portfolio and how it would integrate with Sprout. I'm not sure if maybe you mean contact form, but let me know if you can clarify in the chat or even in the questions. I'd be happy to dive into that. Jeff, for the top 5 products, is it based on how many you sold or total sales? So we actually have 2 different reports, Jeff. I didn't go into all of them here in this webinar, but we have one that's based on when the money was collected, and we have another report that's based on when the item was sold. So you can choose which of those that you want to go into. If you care more about when the money was collected, or if you care more about when you actually made the sale, we have both of those options available for you. Let's take a look. Do I have any other unanswered questions? I think that's mostly it. If you guys have any other thoughts, any other questions, let me know. Oh, yes, Javier has a couple more polls. Thank you, Javier. Please hop on over to the poll section. If you haven't already done that, please fill out those polls for us just so we can get some more context around you and who you are and sort of what your experience has been like. Oh, here, I got another question here from Jeff. Can you see your average sale by shoot type? Yep, you can filter all of the reports. So everything that you can do in Sprout in the reports and analytics, you can filter every one of those reports by shoot type and by lead source. So you can get in there and really analyze a lot of those things based on shoot type. Definitely. You're welcome, Jeff. Amazing. That is pretty much everything. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you taking some time out of your Wednesday afternoon, or if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you taking some time watching the replay of this. So thanks for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed this webinar. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with us. And if you haven't already started in Sprout Studio, we'd love to have you. Otherwise, that is it for today, my friends. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you over in the Facebook group. We'll connect over there. Bye for now.